Hey everybody, back again with the daily, and today it's going to be a little bit of a fun one. Spider-Man. Um, if you know my artwork, I've done this one a few times now. The character, not this card, and it's always interesting to see how far this character can be pushed dynamically. Very cool, very fun character to draw. I'm jumping right into this, as you can see here, right into the hand here, and getting this back arm in place. This will probably go pretty fast, I hope. This particular character is easy to render. And because this webbing goes straight in here, I am going to map it out first. Has a little bit of a animated effect to it with the way that I layer things, and as you guys probably know by now. But yeah, he's got his hands all over the lizard right here. And I do the raptor, dinosaur, alligator hybrid style. I really dig that version. So that's what I've got going on in here. And we won't get to see much of him because he's out of the picture. But we will get to see a little bit of the gruesomeness going on right in here. Go ahead and map that out. Big old honking nose right there. Put in that lip. Put in that snarl. Whenever this character is drawn, everybody has their own take on him. And that's one of the best things about him, is he's so versatile in the image, in the way that you can create him, which is awesome within itself. A lot of people don't like that, but you know, they want a character like Superman or, you know, Batman's pretty standard. Even though a lot of people take liberties with his ears and things like that on his cowl. I prefer not to. But with this character, yeah, this is a fun one to draw. I'm going to put in this eye right here with the closed lid, of course, because Spidey's got his finger in it, as you guys can see that. Go in and draw the teeth here. I wanted to make this one a little different, and the reason I comboed it was because of that. I wanted it to be a little different in the way that I laid it out and what I showed you guys. I wanted it to pop a little more, so I'm going to put in that underside of that jaw there. It goes all the way around. And the reason I'm not showing the connective tissue in there, if you know anything about reptiles, they tend to have the teeth overlap, and then the glands and stuff come down underneath. So I left that open, and that's the reason I wrapped it under instead, so I don't, you know, get all that craziness going on. Why didn't you draw his other gums? That's weird. It's just the basic anatomy of the critter. So, and yes, I say critter, that's a technical term. But we have this huge tongue going down in here as well. We'll put that gum line in here so you guys can see that. Put in this corner of the chin and the lower jaw. Put in that lip. Try to work in the bottom of that tongue there. Hope that looks alright. So, now I'm going to work in this big claw here, because when Doc Connors mutates, apparently the way they've done him now is because of the alligator DNA. They made him morph into more of a dinosaur type of reptilian creature, and this is all segmented now. I'll move this up a little bit. I know all of you are waiting for the dinosaur to go away and the awesome Spider-Man hero to jump in there, but just have to detail this out. Make it all look like it's supposed to. And a lot of artists say that this is a cop-out now because it's so much easier to draw. But I disagree. All these segments are a pain. It just depends on your artistic focus, I guess. Some people say he should look more lizard-like and live up to his namesake, and then other people say he should go more reptilian because it's more dynamic. I think they overdid that with the DC version of the character, which is Killer Croc, and I think they overwork it quite a bit, and to the point now to where he looks just god-awful. But it's, again, a matter of artistic preference. So, make that thumb pop off a little bit. And now we have it to where there is the lizard's hand. Let's segment this off. So we have those pockets under his throat there. So he looks like he's really going to just devour somebody. And we're going to come in with the Spider-Man head. I don't want it to get in front of that shoulder. There's the upper arm. There's the forearm. There's the connection corner to the chest. Comes down around here. Blacken this out for the ribs. Cut into that other shoulder. Now, we have the principal form out of the way, so now we can cut in the other side of this rib cage, because on this section right here, the lat's up behind. You wouldn't see that. That's actually ribs right there. And then we have the bicep cut down, bottom of the shoulder and the chest right there. And because of the angle that he's at, we actually have just a little bit of a thigh right up here. And it blocks off for the top of the knee. I'm going to line that out so it comes down for the calf. Line that out for the bottom part of the kneecap to start. So we've got him kind of standing up on the shoulder. He's up underneath his chin, up on the shoulder, and here we are hitting him right in the face. So that's where Spider-Man is in perspective of the image overall. Dropping that drop shadow there. Get a little bit of that collarbone going on, which makes a shadow in this angle. So, drawing this edge of the ribs here, because he's all buckled up. Which that shadow landed perfectly right across the back of the tongue. I like that, right across the tips there. It's pretty neat. But, got to cut the old abadabbas right in there. And we'll put the bottom set right there. Tip back for the pelvis. And we will extend the back part of this foot right down here as if he's got his leg propped up this way, which unfortunately we can't see. Probably should have put his knee down in there. We'll put his leg right here and put his foot right back there. That way he is in proper perspective. It's like, why is his foot around his ear? Well, he's Spider-Man. We can do that. Cut in that eye right there. And now we'll go in and do the webbing, which everybody freaks out the way I do the webbing, because I have this thing where I like to do straight lines rather than boxing it out. You know, it's not webbing if it's not curved. Well, the thing is, though, in a lot of the costume variations, he has, instead of going across and being rippled here and then rippled across this way, it looks more like spiderweb to me to have this straight line to set it, and then you rib it across. So, I mean, it's just a personal preference, but I prefer to actually have it that way. It just looks more dynamic to me. Of course, like I said, it's artistic choice. So, and this is a classic Spider-Man suit, by the way, so we're not going to have to worry about all the modern Avengers style, you know, markings and cuts and stuff like that. It's not really my thing. But that's okay for everybody that does it. Now, I like to do a rippled line on the knuckles to make that pop off a little bit. It's pretty standard. Okay. Now we'll come in here and do the thumb. And we've got that. I'm going to darken these up just a little bit to pop them off of from one from the other. So we can have that. There are the knuckles. Bottom parts of the fingers. Fold. Okay. Matt, Deborah, thank you for popping by. I appreciate it very much. Okay. I'm going to run this down the chest here. Go ahead and kick this out. And stop right there so that we can get in the rib cage right here, which goes blue, and of course this side will be blue. I'm going to turn this just a little bit so I don't catch this card wrong. And pop in those arm lines. Now, comes the fun part where people love to criticize Spider-Man artists for this right here. But that's okay. It's like, you have to catch each rib just right. No, that's okay. As long as they connect and they look good, I think we'll be okay. And because I'm inking this, I can give a little bit of a slip up here and there for expediency's sake. I know I shouldn't do that, but I can because of the fact I'm going to be inking it. So, and we're going to do a traditional logo here. I'm going to do the short head. the elongated body, and 2 up. And 2 out. And they're a little jumbled because of the angle he's at. So it turns just a little bit and bends. Just so you guys can hopefully see that. Now comes the cool part of the mask being lined. Now, I like it where it's split on the forehead and runs down the middle. And I like to keep these wide because I think that people overwork them. But again, that's an artistic personal choice. With his head tipped down, it would be blacked out. Little tiny highlight right there. Leave this open for highlights on the edges there. And up on that peak. He's a little more expressive with the wider webbing. And the reason I picked up on that from Todd McFarlane years ago, he used to do wider webbing because of the fact that he always said it gave Spider-Man a more expressive look. And I think we've about got this now that I look at it. I'm going to go ahead and shade some of this in. But yeah, as I was saying about the webbing, that's one of my favorite parts, is the fact that it's very forgiving in the expression of the character. Very forgiving. Pop that out. Now, I think with the way this is going here, we just about got this one knocked out. Put a little marker on the knee there. And because of the way this is angled, this would set as done and done, with a shadow right there, popping out that jaw a little bit, because those ridges from the snout actually follow through into the jaw the way the new design goes. Leave no ridge unturned. So I think I'm going to go ahead and black that out, and I'll leave that area for that foot to shine through for you guys. But because he's under here, the way the pose is, I'm going to have the shadow fall right there on the blue, and then I'll highlight the red on the other side of his neck. Now on the back side here, we've got to be careful, because what you're going to have is the foot and the thigh come right through here, so we're going to have to black that out. I don't want that to look proper, so I'm going to shade that, and then draw in the first ridge right there for the side of his mouth, and we will leave that open to be colored on the other side. Reason I'm marking these right now is because I don't want to pull an amateur action and forget that these are the mouth ridges and color them in his teeth later. Be like, wow, those teeth are messed up. So, I think there we go. Hope you guys dig it. That is Spider-Man and the Lizard. So, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. And Mr. Jim O'Reilly popped on. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. We're going to have a fun one with that one, by the way. Tomorrow, specifically a Mr. Jim favorite, we're going to be doing The Beast from, not from the musical, but from the X-Men. So, thanks for hanging out again, guys. I appreciate it so much. Had fun doing this one. Like I said, I hope you dig it. I'll post it up later. And catch you tomorrow. Thanks.